said, the poet. So beautiful. So beautiful. Look at need to see what I've seen. I need to see.
Now we're good to go, as Ellie said. We'll start that again. Good to be. Good to broadcast.
I should have said, the poet. So beautiful. So beautiful. Look at need to see what I've seen. I need to see.
These are the spiritual as much as physical voyages of the Co-Federation Solar Sun, our starship, planet Earth, restored to heaven on our and every earth as our spiritual, genealogical, local, global, universal voyager and shared her and his family community enterprise. Our new millennial year's mission to rediscover and re-understand, sustain, and explore are and all are in fact familiar. My family is filled with poetesses and poets, of the tree of love, musicians, artists, healers, solar system and universe, biologists, astronomers, psychologists, social workers, sustain our and especially kindly people learning to be kind to one another as Shakinas and Hakinas, sister cousins and future brother cousins of one family, Equinox True Q's, Co-Secretary General's Co-SZTARRIZE. Whenever and where we have interdimensional reality, all in part been before, if also never been before, in alternative space timelines that are circles, which are of the universal EQ, IQ, and SQ, and BQ. Balance, combinations of the ever-expanding circle which spirals and grows, budding and blooming in space-time. Love and live enlightened, ever young, long, and prosper all both in each and every one. Engage your heart, mind, soul, and body, for we all, both in each, and each both in all, can, must, and marvelously and miraculously make it so. When the thunder is blast, she emerges, her eyes on fire, the mighty priestess. She's risen from the nativity of Calvary, She is risen from the fires of the earth. She is risen. She is risen. We are risen. She is risen. She is risen. We are risen. We are risen. We all are risen via my intercession and your joining our circles as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs, Equinox True Qs. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be.
महालक्ष्मी मृडप्रिया महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्वा महाशक्ति महारथी महाभोगा महेश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धि महासिद्धि महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी महातंत्र महामंत्र महायंत्र महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या ओम महाभैरवपूजिता महेश्वर महाकल्पक महातांडव साक्षिणी महादावेशमतिथि महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी चतुष्षष्टि उपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टि कलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टि कोटि योगिनी गणसेविता
Celestial event. No. No words. No words. Describe. I should have said. The poet. So beautiful. So beautiful.
My family, your family is filled, our family is filled with poetesses and poets, with artists, with musicians, with healers. with anthropologists who understand how humanity can do best, informing those of us in all the other fields that we are filled with psychologists, social workers, political scientists, biologists, astronomers, but most important, we are students of the milk of human kindness. We are the divine holy baby girls and holy baby boys grown into Equinox True Qs, co-secretary generals, co-saviors, ready to save and sustain this planet and all our planets of the universe together as Equinox True Qs, co-secretary generals, co-saviors. Via the new millennial golden rule. Of eternal life and opening the stargates. This day I call the heavens and the earths as witnesses intercessorily for and hopefully and prayerfully not against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose love and life with light, so that you and your children may live. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not your our new millennial law.
Okay. Brother Patricia, maybe play Sunflower. They want to kill Peter Blackson. This is Anna Marie singing Christmas, and I am Cherokee, Cheyenne, Blackfoot, and Hangoutsz, Nicolette. And I am also a French, English, and German. That means we are all related. We embrace the new millennial growth room as the law of all native of the sacred ground that is Mother Earth. and all the planets of all the universes.
Welcome to our middays broadcast. You know that we are doing a hearing, the ultimate hearing for humanity. Humanity has a little prevalent habit called patriarchy. It didn't always practice patriarchy, but it has been practicing patriarchy with quite a bit of repetitiveness for a number of thousands of years. We have a hearing going on this broadcast channel, allowing humanity to look at itself and judge itself. We are combining three very evocative, dramatic themes. One is the film Defending My Life, which we are saying, in this case, defending my, our, your, our life, defending all our lives. As if we were knocking at the door of the pearly gates, which we can be on our own planet, as ripe pearls ready for a sustainable world and worlds. And we're also combining it with The Bad Woman of Shiloh, the famous Pulitzer Prize. I don't know if it won a Pulitzer Prize. It won many prizes. Play written by a man who lived in Nazi-occupied France during the 1940s, told from the point of view of women and the empowerment of women to gather the community to make judgments over the behaviors of so-called leaders. And the third dramatic model for our hearing is that of Encounter at Farpoint Station of Star Trek, in which the advanced Q continuum convenes a large courtroom to investigate the fittingness of humanity continuing its attempt to go become a member of the interplanetary community, because of humanity's inhumanity to itself and to its own planet. Now, I am interspersing this with the Eleucosaveral ceremonies, which we got a late start this early dawn broadcast today, and so we're going to do the ceremony now. And before going into the hearing, we're going to do the ceremony because it is so important to remember that the Eleusinian mysteries were practiced for thousands of years in a civilization called Atlantis that had no war, abundant harmony with nature and food and good activities of enjoyment to its family, community, citizenry, and high flourishing of arts, sciences, humanities, poetry, music, and it was also the origin of medicine, the origin of also and the repository of the human desire and yearning for immortality, for a heaven on earth and earths. And we are giving that to you. We are giving it to you. I am delivering it as the Paraclete. I am a predicted personage that was predicted by the Judeo-Christian Bibles. I'm also a reincarnation of many other women and high priestesses, particularly the high priestess goddess Astra or Astrea of Atlantis, the goddess of divine democracy, who is the goddess of the Statue of Liberty. I have risen, but I have risen with a great deal of error, because I did not know who I was most of my life, and I, like most of you, was deeply asleep and did not know who I was, because I didn't have my genealogy, and I didn't know all of the marvelous, miraculous people that I was related to. And I'm also a goddess incarnation of Durga, or I also like to call her Durga, and Radha, goddess incarnations of Hinduism that also interact with these more Western civilization goddesses, and many more. I reincarnate many, many women that you can read about on the About section of the 5050now.wordpress.com. Most importantly, Grace Love, who was the wife of the founder of television, who lived in my neighborhood, and whose spirit has entered me, so that I can bring to you broadcasts that enlighten the human condition instead of cause its extinction. So let's do the ceremony. This is the Eleucosaveral ceremony. You can read about it at 5050now.wordpress.com. My family, my dearest family, and all the family and people who I've ever known, family, community, and all community is family, because no one on this planet is more than 50th cousin or cousin from steps away in degrees of kinship distance from anyone else. We are all one family. But we don't treat our own families all that well, and therefore we don't treat our larger family community that well either. If we could learn the ways of an egalitarian culture, peace culture, we would treat our own families, our own neighbors, our own community much better. And that would have a ripple effect, a radiant ripple effect, that goes all the way around the planet. And we have given the way for this to occur easily. It is the New Millennial Golden Rule, which you read at 5050now.com. And it has its three conceptual components: the Panchat Raj, which was the vision of Kasturba Kapadia and Mohandas Gandhi, and brought into reality by Sonia and Rajiv and Priyanka and Rahul's family, who is also our family. And the genuine progress indicator, which is already the law of the state of mind and heart, as well as the jurisdiction called Maryland, where I reside, because I am a Mary. I am a reincarnated Mariam of Magdala descendant, Kazina, and also of a niece of Mary of Nazareth. I am of the Marys. I am of the Mariams, because the name Mary derives from an earlier name, Marie or Marie, the goddess, a big goddess of the Middle Eastern region and also of Hinduism. And the name Ma and Ri or Ma Ra is in many, many, many goddess names all around the world. There's Mazu of China. There's Amaterasu in Japan. There's Ma-Ra in Latvia, which brought us, Latvia and Lithuania gave us our greatest archaeologists of finding the goddess, Maria or Marija Jimbutas. And we've had her daughters co-hosting on this broadcast. I believe that goddess theology is an archetypology. Let's face it. There aren't floating female figures above the earth. I don't think so. But there is a yin force, a yin and yang feminine style force in the universe. And there is also a yang or masculine tipped force in the universe. They work together. Normally they work in good balance, but they do need time to know who they are. And the problem with females on our planet is they've lived under patriarchy so long that they don't know who they are. They know that they are defined by what men expect them to be. And when that happens, they lose aspects of the eternal feminine that men actually rely upon to have a decent and good life and the potential of eternal life. So, along with the female. So we are restoring the divine eternal feminine in these broadcasts, and that's what this ceremony is about. The importance of worshiping your own female ancestry, of valuing your current females of your family of all ages, and also especially bringing younger men into this understanding and giving all the younger generations as well as all the Shekinahs immediately apotheosis, the ability to recognize the goddess within and the goddess young God within. After that is accomplished, after 9 to 18 months of doing these ceremonies and achieving a divine democracy via the new millennial golden rule, then we can let older men back in as partners. And they should be so happy for this because it will give them eternal life. They will have much greater riches than they have right now, even though their accumulativeness has made them the hoarders of the wealth of the world on paper. But the reality is they've been depriving themselves of eternal life because they are not kind. And that lack of kindness deprives people of eternal life. You could only get into heaven by being kind. And the only way you can understand kindness is that it is an aspect of kinship. And so your relationships with your own family community, the people near you, are important. And your relationship of both genders to one another and different generations to one another are very important. So this is what we have a particular responsibility to our younger generations, but all generations that are alive are precious to the Mother, Father, Goddess, God, and who have ever lived are precious to the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And we do believe that we can open up the fountain of youth and the stargates for all of these, both genders and all generations. So the light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. And let me say our conference line is open. You can call in at 773-641. Blinking on it for a minute. It's 641 3580. 3580. And then the conference code is the access code is 773342. And we are on that line. Now, if you call in, we give priority to women and to young people age 37 thereabouts and younger, female and male, but the males must bring a female with them. They can't just come in by themselves. They must bring a female in order for them to gain entry at this mystery. And it can be their mother, it can be their sister, it can be their cousina, it can be a colleague who's a Kazina, a classmate who's a Kazina, anybody, as long as they're bringing a woman as well as themselves. And so we'll say, and again we'll say, the light is on in all our hearts. We have those marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water, hugs and love to all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. Namaste. Mitakuya oyasin. Mitakuya koseviral. Mitakuya kongs unpacks. Ko unpacks culture. Merci. Bahava l'chaim. Shalom. Salam. Salam. Shalom. Ubuntu. Buenos dias. Sayonara. Das Vidanya. Shinque, chop chop, Schlanzavag, Tschüss, ciao, and cheerio, goodbye, and many, many other greetings of kindness in all of our languages, past, present, future, including love and live longest, eternally young, and prosper, everyone and all, not just a few, but everyone and all, always, sustainably. On this, on all our planets, as Co-Secretary Generals, CSZT, Equinox True Qs. We'll drink the milk of human kindness for all, both in each and every one, as soon as possible, highlighting especially the importance for all human beings to start out with a life where they optimally and should have 2 to 3 years on cue breastfeeding. Every holy baby girl and every holy baby boy, all of us, should start out that way, and with our mothers, so appreciated by the family community and the planet for doing this activity of breastfeeding, which teaches EQ, emotional and empathy quotient, IQ, intellectual ability and logic, SQ, the spiritual aspects of understanding that all are connected and that one is capable of great joy and happiness in the connection with other human beings who are incarnations of something greater that we all are all part of. And BQ, the resilience of the body prepared for eternal life, youthful life, via the new millennial golden rule. And so we'll drink, and the milk of human kindness is important at all stages and all ages of life. We all have to exhibit it. Sometimes with some people, it's kind to confront them because they may be doing something that is behaviorally injurious to themselves or others. And sometimes you have to try to gather a circle of people around them to confront them. And so, or at least to connect with them. And then you get to the stage of being able to confront them and help them reestablish themselves and their behaviors at a higher level of development. And but kindness is having goodwill at all times for all people. And recognizing that all people are children of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. Of course. Who did we think? So we say that, and we will drink the milk of human kindness on behalf of all, both and each, representing all, both and each and every one as soon as possible, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, CSZT. We'll drink the water of enlightened, loving, living planets, enlightened by the new millennial golden rule. So they're not hypocrisy. They're not living hypocrisy or self and other degradationally or devolving or extinguishing, because we are now on a path of extinction on this planet. We have to regain ourselves via the new millennial golden rule as a planet in connection with all the planets of our universe, and our Milky Way and beyond. So we'll drink the milk, the water of loving, living, enlightened by the new millennial golden rule planets of the new millennial confederation of planets, which we have formed, of Earth and planets, on behalf of all, both and each and every one. And I drink representing all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. You can read about the confederation at 5050now.wordpress.com under the section called sermons, we all have a dream to make reality now. And then under the Congress's courts and grassroots assemblies, among the representatives, SA will tell you more about the Confederation. It has already begun. We've already had meetings. We've already passed legislation. We are way far ahead of the people that you hear about on television. Okay, which you should turn off. Okay, and so we'll drink the milk of human kindness for all, both and each and every one, as soon as possible. We'll drink the water of enlightened, loving, living planets for all, both and each and every one, representing all, both and each and every one, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs of this and all our planets, past, present, future. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs. We'll start with our equinox and the season of the equinox around it, the springs, and the autumnal springs, the golden springs, that is autumn, the golden time, and we'll merge them together as a smaller beginning circle, and then bring into them, welcome into them, the larger circle of all years rounds, equally welcomed and regarded as equally important. And we will call ourselves Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs, Equinox True Qs. We will thereby attain apotheosis, immortality. For both females and males, the risen divine feminine, bringing this about also for men, for young men, starting with young men, and eventually the older men will come in and join you in too. And so as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs, we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs. Why do we do this so many times, even more than once a day? Because it hasn't been done in a broadcast, whereas it used to gather thousands and thousands of people at least twice a year for many days in a row. Long days, the whole day was spent on it. So you're getting, even now, just a taste. We are not overdoing it. And here are our consciousness currencies. You can see these at the website. There's hundreds of them, and these are our own dearest family. You know who you are. You're welcome to co-broadcast. We want you as co-hostesses and co-hosts, young co-hosts. Young co-hostesses, young co-hosts, as well as our more mature women as goddess incarnations, as Equinox True Qs as well. Start that again. And we'll start fresh with our bowl of fruit representing the rainbow colors of humanity and of light. And we'll choose parity paradisal. For this, our planet and all our planets, as Elysian fields, as gardens of Eden, orchards filled with trees of life, of family trees, where each person is regarded as a gem of sparkling color, and purity as the diamonds. And we'll also, especially those so dear to me, I have such feelings for those I know in my family, and I know their capabilities, and I know how it's been eroded by patriarchy, and I want to see them regain what they were created to do and meant to be in their fullest apotheosis. So, and we also will say no to planeticidal patriarchy, past, present, future. We'll say no to plutocratic, plutocracy, plutonium. We'll say yes to paradisal parity, past, present, future. And when I say past, present, future, what I mean is that we have to retell hers in history. The way Rosalind Miles has written in her book, Who Cooked the Last Supper, a woman's hers in history of the world. That is what we all need to do. We have to tell our stories of our family and communities again, and start crediting the women to the extent that they should have been credited all these years. The stories will be rewritten. The younger people will have a larger role. The men will have yet a continued role, an important role, but not so top heavy. And so we do this, excuse me, past, present, future, as equinox true cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviors. Our aim is to have this completed by around the time of Orthodox Easter, our hearings. So we have quite a bit to do, but we will catch up. And we'll be doing our ceremonies round the clock. And we'll say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages and languages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as equinox true cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviors. And we'll say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, we'll say all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as equinox true cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviors. Okay. I'm just going to explain something to you about the hearings that we're going to proceed with, and explain something to you about the general themes of what we'll be weaving while you look at a graphic to put you in the spirit of this hearing. Now, let me say, what I am doing here is an intercessoral hers in history hearing on humanity's functioning, including my own, within patriarchy and beyond patriarchy, transcending it into a parity culture, peace, partnership culture. The themes we will show is that what happens in the family happens in the larger institution, and what happens in the larger institutions and the economic and political institutions, including medical services, including entertainment, media, and so forth, has a profound interactive effect. And it is either patriarchal and unsustainable and will always wind up in its own demise, usually pretty violent and usually pretty horrible, and this time of the whole planet, or it will attain partnership, peace culture, become fully risen, be totally sustainable on this planet, and open up the stargates so that we will have eternal life on this and all other planets in a manner that is marvelously in harmony with nature and time and timeless, essentially. And we will become as goddesses and gods. Now, what I'm going to be looking at in my family, in your family, in all our family, It's behaviors of sister cousines and cousin brothers toward one another. Now, sister cousines and cousin brothers are my way of collapsing the generations as if they all lived at one point in time. Because that way they become a horizontal relationship instead of a vertical one. Vertical relationships include parental relationships and include parent-child and include aunt and uncle relationships and so forth. But in apotheosis, we all eventually become equally young. So we all have the same age. So we're going to be thinking of people at their different ages in human epochs and in our current time. But we're also looking at our generationality and how that tends to, under patriarchy, in later life, in adult life, it causes the problems that patriarchy brings. It causes malfunctioning in the mother-to-child relationship, malfunctioning in the mother-father, in the father-child relationship, malfunctioning in all of the horizontal relationships of the family, very diminished, and also a too great pressure in some ways because of the lack of the family circle on parents and aunts and uncles. And in our society, we've almost just completely destroyed the sibling and the aunt and uncle sibling relationships. Our sister cousin relationship, sister cousina and our cousin brother relationships are almost non-existent in North America. And as a result, everybody thinks of themselves as an individual in relationship to a mass society, a great big brother or big sister, big brother kind of animal farm, which is not a family and which is not a community. And people get lost in this shuffle. And what we need to do is go back to the neighborhood and extended family level and reinvigorate it according to the new millennial golden rule. And so we will explain this both with the negative models of my own family that need confrontation, our own, your own family, and the branch of our family which we believe needs the most confrontation now is the media. And it also is the law, and these are two intertwined because the media kind of promotes a notion of law that is in fact not law because it is not derived by actual representation. So it is essentially just control rules. It's rules of control. They're not what you'd call laws in the way that we would conceive of in a democracy. They're not laws. But we're told that they're laws, and we're told that the people who make them are lawmakers, and we're told that the people who adjudicate them are courts, and we're told the story of the world according to the words of these people, and then the way they define themselves into separate entities called nations, and we're told that that's the story of the world. Well, that isn't the story of the world at all. The story of the world is actually of sister cousines and cousin brothers and how they relate over time. That really is the story of the world. But people don't see it. And so we get all caught up in our institutional realities and not recognizing that all we're looking at is various arrangements of intensity of patriarchy. And when you also juxtapose that with the fact that patriarchy, that men tend to produce more of the technology, you have a tilt in society toward technology and away from sustainable nature that is given as a blessing by the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. In other words, the sun, the moon, the water, the air, the seeds, all of the flowers, all the greenery, all of the living patterns of life, we underestimate in our society because we're technologically over-endowed, and it's tilted toward that valuation of technology instead of the valuation of its harmony with nature. So we're going to be looking at all of that in these hearings, and I'm going to make some outreach phone calls, and let's see if we can get at least something practical done on this hearing today, because we're running way behind. We have to catch up, and we hope to catch up in the next day or two. Patricia? Hello, my darling. I'm broadcasting, and I want to do this work that we have to do of getting you out of this degrading situation. What? They're your stack of dishes. We had excellent housing, and then it became disrupted by your management. Yes, and you want to go back to your excellent housing and even improve it. Good, good. There are Cherokee, Cheyenne, Blackfoot, Lakota Sioux, and French, German, and English mixture. Well, I'd like to talk with you right away first because it goes beyond that. Right. But I want you to get this message because we've called 3 times and no one has called back. And it's an urgent situation. I once sponsored Danny and Reverend Bill, in my home when they were doing this Karen Silkwood case. They would remember me. I have a PhD from Loyola University in Chicago. But I have announced myself at a higher level now as a deliverer of an entirely paradigm shift law for the planet Earth. I'm also verifiably related on both of my branches of family to the Magdalene and Nazarene families. All right, well, you can hang on as long as you can, Ma Patricia. I am calling from 301. Oh, all right. Okay, is she available to speak with? You know, I had that on mute, but we just called one of the organizations that is devoted to justice for all people, but it has a particular project for Native American people and women. And we called them, and what we want to do is focus your attention on Native American women. The Native American people as a whole went through a Holocaust in North America. They are continuing to be survivors, but not yet thrivers again. Because our Western way of patriarchy has marginalized many of them, and yet they have certain types of wisdom that are key to our pulling out of the terrible endangerment that we are doing to this planet Earth environmentally. They have understandings of time and relatedness that are different and important for Western mindsets to integrate into their thinking. So one of the first things that we want to do is make that connection. Now, I'm also going to call a media outlet on this matter, because that's the other group that, in terms of my own family, we're going to focus on about 5 older male cousins, and all of their recruitment into patriarchy by the time they started reaching their upper 30s, early 40s. How they got pushed into patriarchy, not only by other men and pre-existing institutions, but by the women in their lives. And we're also going to be looking at how the women in their lives and the women in their own lives don't regard each other as very important. We're going to be looking at the female side of patriarchy in my family, in your family, in all families. How women don't talk to each other about much at all anymore. They used to, in the old days, talk about cooking and what the women's club could do and what their children were doing, maybe a little bit about their husband's achievements. Now, although women are much more literate and highly achieved, they're not talking to each other because they don't have any time in North America. Because guess why? We don't have any family leave, and guess why that is? Because we're practicing patriarchy. And so because nobody has any time to think and to be with people that they love and care about, all that we care about is falling through the cracks, and the planet itself is falling through this gap. Like it plummeting like a rock in a dark water that we have darkened with patriarchy and all the waste that comes with it. We could have the light of egalitarian clear water culture. Our water would be pure, our air would be pure, our people would be pure of heart, and our future would be pure and purely sustainable. So that's what we're delivering. Let me see if I can call a media outlet, and then we'll get back with these people as quickly as we can. Oh, I didn't broadcast it, but I just called an outlet that is connected to sustainability in Oregon there, and also connected to the media there in Oregon. The media. The media is the mediator of this whole mess. The media is involved in why the court's involved in my particular cousin and Kazina case, which you can read about at the Ultimate Hearing section of our 5050now.wordpress.com, is so ignorant. The reason the courts are ignorant is because the people watch television, and the television is keeping them ignorant. And they wouldn't really be so bad if they could get some truth, and they would know that all the courts of most of the Nordic countries and France and many other countries are already balanced by gender, and their legislatures are at or near balanced by gender. And as I say, in the New Millennial Golden Rule, the Panchayat Raj gives us a model of making decisions in a reparative restorative justice model in the local community, and doesn't even need all these hierarchical courts. Why don't we hear about that? Why do we hear so much about the Supreme Court? Who is the Supreme Court? Did you appoint them to be? Was a bunch of men in 1789. No women were present. No indigenous people were present. No people of color were present. And the only people of present had a lot of property and money. And they created the Supreme Court. Do we have a Supreme Court? I tell you, the Supreme Court is the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And they are already levying judgment upon you. Look at the drought. Look at the methane clouds. You have your judgments. Your judgments are already unfolding. The question is, can we at this time help you to look at your own behavior under patriarchy and give you the reparative judgment of sharing the New Millennial Golden Rule as your sentence? And your sentence becomes a comma, and your comma will connect you to eternal life and to all the life on all the planets of this planet in connection to other planets. That's what we want for you. Okay, now we're just going to put you back on hold. That was our mini taste of hearing today. We have a lot going on here. We're running behind schedule, as you can see. But I know that we're going to have this hearing reasonably accomplished by the time of traditionally Passover, Easter on the Orthodox calendar, the beginning of May, and I believe that will give us enough time to turn back time and re-include all the beginnings of the months of spring, connect them to the months of golden autumn, make our circle, do our reparative justice, and adopt the Millennial Golden Rule as the only law necessary. The only law necessary for incredibly marvelous, miraculous life reclaimed for all people of all heritages on the planet Earth and of the planet Earth, including other planets of Milky Way and beyond. So we'll look forward to that, and we're going to let you take a look at me. Okay, notice me. I'm not sitting here with a gavel. I don't have a gavel. This is what I have. This is my power. I don't need a gavel. This is my power. Now, I can make gavel sounds. I can take this heart light and tell you, God's already levied judgment. The question is, can you get out of the mess you've made? God's already levied judgment on me and everybody else. The question is, can we get out of the stiffer sentence and appeal for a little lighter one? And then find our way, work our way out through public service via the New Millennial Golden Rule to complete liberation. That's the question. So I think we can. And we're going to put you on mute and make some outreach calls.
Enjoy the sun, so yes.